Good Wednesday evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center on a day where we continue to watch the computer models pick up and forecast a major winter storm that's going to come across Texas, really starting Friday night and lasting through Sunday and Sunday night. And here we could see some ice that could cause some significant problems. I think North Texas has a major problem with what they're facing with the ice and sleet. But for Houston, at the moment, this is the way the forecast stands. We're still several days out. This could be altered, but right now the models show this. Cold rain Saturday, 50s. That's the high temperature, dropping through the 40s with a cold rain most of the day on Saturday. Saturday night, we drop down below freezing. In fact, we drop into the 20s Saturday night. 34 Sunday, that's the high temperature Sunday. So we're going to spend most of the day at or below freezing on Sunday with light rain, which means it's freezing rain. So Sunday is the day we're most likely to get an icy mix, which would ice up the bridges and overpasses in many spots. And we'll have to wait and see if we get enough to bend and break some tree limbs and bring down some power lines. But I would expect there'll be at least some power outages because of the ice on Sunday in some neighborhoods. Most likely is further north, but even down to the coast, some models at times have brought in some ice down to northern Galveston. Okay, so here's the winter storm watch in effect. And it goes into effect on Saturday morning. So Saturday morning through Sunday evening, that's the winter storm watch. It includes all of Houston, Harris County, so all the Metroplex. It includes Chambers County. It does not include Galveston County, Brazoria, or Matagorda County, but it wouldn't surprise me if temperature models come in colder over the next day or two before this onsets on Friday night, Saturday. Maybe they'll include you folks down there as well. So the potential, even in the Houston metro, is for icing, which is possible. At the moment, most likely Saturday night and Sunday, but that's the way we stand right now. Power outages, tree damage, possible. You really need to start getting a tenth to a third of an inch to start seeing some little tree limbs bend down, touch power lines, and cause power outage issues. You know, if you get a quarter inch of ice on a span of a power line, it can add several hundred pounds of weight to that line. That's why watching the icing totals very carefully will be critical to see if we're going to end up with a lot of power outages during this or not. But I would say anybody north of I-10, especially in that area, have a decent chance of seeing the power at least flicker, if not go out for a while at some point this weekend. So as far as our weather impact alert, again, Saturday evening through Monday is when we'll have the ice and then the bitter cold coming in Sunday night into Monday. Hard freeze, that's Monday morning. Winterize your home, that's the best thing you can do right now. Anything exposed, that little faucet sticking out, cover it up, wrap it up. If you have an irrigation system, make sure you've got that Venturi valve, the pressure relief valve that comes up somewhere in your backyard. Wrap it up, cover it up tight. So you don't have to replace it. And then since there is the possibility for a power outage, make sure you've got food supplies, blankets to stay warm and camp out in your house if we have to do that for a couple of days while it's cold and the power's out. Outside right now, gorgeous evening. Bush 65, Sugarland 68, Hobby 67. Now Galveston 64, you've got a little rain down here right now, but it won't last much longer. There's the radar, scattered showers across the bay, Chambers County, that's exiting now. So it's going to leave quickly. There's really not much building back behind it. Models give us a chance for a couple of sprinkles north side going into midnight tonight, but really from tomorrow morning through into the afternoon, it's just a warm up. I think high temps top out in the low to mid 70s tomorrow. So a beautiful warm day before all this winter weather comes in. Okay, here's maps locally over the next 48 hours. Tomorrow, warmer, a mix of sun and clouds, a nice day. Watch when I put this in motion. Low pressure coming out of the Baja into the desert southwest. That's the upper level low that is going to come in and combine with the cold air coming in from the north. And by Friday afternoon, that pink area right there along the Red River and into Oklahoma and just north of Dallas is the onset of sleet and freezing rain. That's what will begin to ice up roads across North Texas as early as Friday afternoon and evening. Snow across portions of Nebraska and Kansas, and we may get a little bit of a scattered shower on Friday here, but it's all liquid. We're still warm here in Houston on Friday. It's Saturday night through the day on Sunday that we may see our chance for icing. We'll get a closer look at that in a minute. The magnitude of this storm can't be understated. So several inches of snow and then ice being freezing rain and then sleet pellets across a big swath of central North Texas. could absolutely cripple travel here. You do not want to go traveling on the road to Dallas this weekend. Roads will likely be shut down. I-20 corridor, I-45 corridor north of Madisonville, I-35 north of Austin. They're not shut down now, but I'm just telling you from experience, from seeing storms like this, that's what's going to happen. They're going to have big areas that are shut down or to shut down the entire freeway. And if you're on it and it's icy, 18-wheelers all over the place, they can't move. You just sit in one spot for 9 hours and go nowhere. It's a bad situation. So stay off the roads. Don't go to Central and North Texas. Stay home in your home. And even here this weekend, you're being urged to just stay home, because going into Saturday evening, Saturday night, we're going to begin to see icing, and you get caught on that and then it becomes a big problem for you. So stay home, get some food, and just enjoy a quiet weekend and watch us as we give you the updates. How much ice does it take? A trace to a quarter inch of ice. That's dangerous travel. And minimal power issues at a quarter of an inch of ice. You get past that, anything above a quarter inch of ice accumulating on a power line or tree limbs will start bringing them down because it's just so much weight. So impossible travel and some tree damage and power outages begin to happen. So in areas that get a quarter inch of ice, which is not out of the question across our northern counties in particular, could see the power outages. What they're going to get in North and Central Texas is something closer to this. More than 3/4 of an inch of ice accumulating, frozen ice on power lines and trees. So that's widespread tree damage. That's limbs coming down on local power lines, and then power outages. And the word catastrophic is being tossed around by some of the weather offices in Dallas and Austin and San Antonio, just on what is possible if this storm, performs to its peak, and some of these forecasts do bear out. I did some research. The main transmission lines that come out of North Texas into Houston to feed us a lot of the power we use, those typically are good through 3/4 of an inch of ice. But you start getting an inch of ice on those, combined with some wind, and that's when you can begin to see problems with some of the main transmission lines. Those are the big ones with the big metal towers. So it's something we'll be watching as Central Texas gets a whole lot more ice than what we here in Houston are going to get. So again, looking at the weekend, ice on Saturday is a low threat, but it's not zero. We could see some ice Saturday afternoon and evening, northern counties. Sunday, ice is a much greater possibility simply because that's when we think temps will drop below freezing and stay below freezing with the rain coming down. Power outages are a medium threat here locally, and a hard freeze is going to happen. So you want to cover up any plants, and that's why you want to cover up those pipes. And then the extreme cold watch. This is also in effect from the Weather Service. Basically, dangerous feels like these are wind chill temps. When the wind blows on your exposed skin, when temps are in the teens and low 20s, it will feel like to your body 5 to 15 degrees. So dangerously cold. Worst of the cold is Sunday night into Monday morning. That'll be the coldest morning, dropping down into the low 20s and teens area wide. So you want to definitely wrap exposed pipe and dress in layers. Wind chill forecast. This is Sunday morning. So at that point, our temps here are below freezing with the air temperature, and with a north wind at 20, it'll feel like it's 21 on your skin at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. It'll feel like -3 in Dallas, -10 in Amarillo. This is Monday morning with a wind chill factor of 12 forecast for Houston. Dangerously cold for us. 11 in Dallas, -10 up in Amarillo. So the cold air means business. There actually are 2 fronts on the map right now in North America. This is the first one. You see it dropping temps from the 40s into the 20s, going across that line. And then as we zoom out into Canada, there's the second front. And as these cold surges often do, they come in waves. So this will be the first wave of cold air that comes in Friday, Saturday, and then Saturday, Sunday. This second and stronger, colder push of air will come in, and that's the one I think will give us the ice chance on Sunday. All right, let's take a look at when the onset of ice could happen in Houston. This is Friday night. Ice across North Texas, Dallas 28, Abilene 24. That's the I-20 corridor getting iced up and beginning to shut down. So you can't travel here going into Friday night and Saturday morning. Don't go to Dallas. Waco 26 Saturday morning with icing taking place. We're in the 50s Saturday morning with cold rain. Good. You can see how the icing potential drifts a little further south, not much further south. By Saturday 3 in the afternoon, we've dropped from the 50s into the low 40s, 25 in Lufkin. So you can see that's the second surge, that second push of colder air, which between 3 p.m. Saturday and sunrise on Sunday will drop our temps below freezing. That's that second push. So we're below freezing Sunday morning. We've still got rain coming down. That equals freezing rain. That's when bridges, overpasses begin to ice up. That's when we'll have to begin to watch to see how much is gathering on tree limbs and power lines and if they're going to have a problem here locally. Sunday noon, still light freezing mix. That's freezing rain and sleet with temps in the 20s. Sunday afternoons, 26, light freezing rain. That all exits going into Monday morning, and that's when we're going to get cold. Temps drop into the mid and low 20s. In the immediate Houston area for lows on Monday morning will be in the teens across the northern half of the area. The snow, the fun stuff, like we had last year, all up to the north. They get the fun stuff. They're going to see a foot of it from Little Rock to Oak City to Lubbock. Kids at Texas Tech are going to have a great time. We won't see the snow. We will get the ice potential because of the shallow nature of the layer of cold air. So we get ice. Potential for some ice here. You can see where the ice is forecast to be much thicker. You get an inch or so of ice up here, and that could impact a whole lot of the power lines and transmission lines. So we're watching for that. This is a very early run as like of how much icing we could get locally. Take this with a grain of salt. But, you know, between Huntsville and Palestine, we've got 1/10 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So, you know, we're right on the edge of, so this 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice, that is serious. Trees down, power lines down with heavy ice on the lines. Houston, you know, models are putting out 7/100ths. This would be the best case scenario for Houston. But we're only 50 miles away from a devastating ice storm. So, you know, that's why we're right on the edge of this. So take all the precautions and hope the bad ice just stays to our north and we get a little ice and we stay home for a day or two and we're fine. That's what we're hoping for. Here's Thursday, 60 in the morning, 74 in the afternoon, partly cloudy, beautiful day on Thursday. The extended forecast, nice again on Friday. Get your preps done. Be prepared to camp out at your house. Stay home, stay off the roads. Saturday and Sunday are a mess. I think the iciest day is Sunday, and then a hard freeze Monday morning. Low 20s in Houston, mid to upper teens across the northern counties. Still cold Tuesday morning, 24, and then temps begin to rebound going into the middle of next week. All right, gang, that is where we stand this evening. Have a good one.